Welcome back to FineScale Modeler Weekly. I'm Tim Kidwell.
And I'm Kendra. It feels like it's been forever since we've been in front of the camera.
Longer than either of us wanted, really. But we're here now, so let's dive right in with the ICM 132nd scale HS 123A1 late. The Henschel Flugzeugwerk biplane began its life as a dive bomber that saw service at the beginning of World War II during invasions of Poland, France, and the Balkans.
Known as a tough aircraft, the HS-123A1 later saw action against the Soviet Union and remained in service with the Luftwaffe until 1944.
ICM's kit of the biplane is an all-new tooling in medium gray and clear plastic. The BMW 132DC 9-cylinder radial engine comes in well-molded halves with separate parts for push rods, intake pipes, and exhausts.
Upper and lower wing halves have fine panel lines and rib details. Ailerons, elevators, and the rudder come separately and need to be assembled, but you'll need to modify their alignment tabs to pose them in any way but neutral.
Like the wings, the fuselage halves bear extremely fine panel lines, along with vent details that you could open up if you wanted. We did notice faint sink marks caused by the cockpit locators and details inside the fuselage. These may disappear under paint, but you may want to fill and sand them smooth just in case.
ICM provides optional wheel fairings, also known as spats, for the landing gear, a selection of bombs, some with fuse extenders, and a drop tank.
Lastly, the kit provides the cowling in 9 sections that need careful alignment to correctly fit around the radial engine.
ICM provides color callouts in the instructions for its paints, a complete sheet of decals, and color painting guides for 4 HS-123s, including Training Birds in France, 1940, and on the Eastern Front in 1942. Another with the Flugzeugführerschule AB-71 in Posnitz, 1941, and a bomber with the 2nd Assault Squadron on the Eastern Front in 1944.
ICM has figured out how to produce good-looking, detailed biplanes. There are 4 parts in this kit that aren't used, not including unused bombs.
That's because those parts are used in a reboxing of this kit, the ICM HS-123 Legion Condor. Click the link in the description below to read a review of that kit. During the 1960s, the U.S. Navy designed underwater habitats to test saturation diving and the effects of living in isolation for extended periods of time. Sealab 3 was intended to house 5 teams of 9 divers for 12 days each in the most advanced of experiments to that point.
Deployed in February of 1969, technical failures haunted the mission from the start, and they eventually led to the death of one of the aquanauts. After an investigation, the Navy canceled the program. However, before that happened, Aurora Models had begun designing and manufacturing the Sealab 3 kit and released it in 1970.
When the Navy mothballed the project, Aurora discontinued the kit, almost making it an instant collectible. However, many of those kits went on to donate a bunch of parts to model makers at a company called ILM as they worked to detail filming miniatures for some movie named Star Wars.
Just, I don't know, a small movie. Now Doll & Hobby has re-released the Aurora Sealab kit in styrene, keeping it as close to the original as possible.
Inside, you'll find parts molded in bright yellow plastic to match Sealab 3's external color. The main hull is comprised of a yellow back half and a clear styrene front to allow you to view Sealab 3's internal details.
Parts furnish the interior with lab equipment, hot water tanks, sleeping berths, lavatory, and shower. Outside, you'll find parts for support frames, viewport covers, a ballast tank, and main platform.
The kit rounds out construction with parts for the diving station, an observation room, tanks for pressurized gas, and a base of the seafloor to support it all.
The 16-page black and white instruction book includes generic color callouts useful for any paint brand. A simple decal sheet offers exterior markings.
Steve Iverson, Doll & Hobby owner, told us his team worked hard to keep this Sealab 3 reissue as true to the original release as possible.
Right, so the original had both clear and opaque fronts, and there are 4 aquanauts in this kit that are included instead of 2 that came with the original.
So if you're looking to build a bit of history or maybe scratch build a studio replica of the Millennium Falcon, Y-Wing, or Blockade Runner, the Sealab 3 re-release might be what you've been waiting for.
Just remember, this kit was designed more than 50 years ago, so don't expect 2025 engineering. We have received a pile of books recently, and here are two we thought would be interesting to share with you. Austro-Italian Naval War 1866 and Fighters over France 1940, both published by MMP Books.
Starting with Fighters over France 1940, this is the kind of book that modelers crave. In its 72 pages, you'll find 94 color profiles of combat fighters flown over France in 1940. Aircraft shown include the Moraine Saulnier MS-405 and MS-406, Dewotin D-520, and Curtiss H-75A1, Hawker Hurricane Mark I, and Gloucester Gladiator, Messerschmitt Bf-109E and Bf-110C, and Fiat G50 and CR-42. Each profile lists the colors used, and the book provides a page of color chips with names and FS numbers. Also, our copy included an errata sheet correcting an error on page 33.
For those modelers interested in ships and naval warfare of the late 19th century, Austro-Italian Naval War 1866 by Peter Olander and illustrated by Robert Panik recounts the Battle of Lissa, the first major sea battle between ironclads. Inside, you'll find a detailed account of operations, maps, photos and portraits of the officers and officials who shaped the battle, and a horde of ship references for all of the ships involved in the action, including photos, illustrations, and scale profiles. And if you're looking for more information, the book ends with a substantial bibliography.
If you're anything like us, a well-stocked library makes scale modeling more enjoyable.
It's always fun when someone asks a question and you're able to raise a finger and say, I know just where to look for that, before running off to grab a book right off your shelf.
Last up this week, we have the completely newly tooled Academy 135th Scale USMC UH-1Y Venom.
Also called the Super Huey, the Venom was initially going to be an upgrade to the UH-1N, but Bell decided to go with a completely new airframe for the contract. The latest in the Huey family, not only is the Venom larger than its predecessor, but it mounts bigger engines with a higher cruising speed, a greater range, more payload capacity, and can carry a wide array of weaponry and electronic countermeasures, and can even be flown remotely.
Molded in blue, gray, and clear plastic, one of the first things that struck me was the razor-sharp detail, especially the rivet and panel lines on the fuselage and upper fairing. The kit does an admirable job of trying to disguise the join between the halves along panel lines.
It does away with the problem altogether with the slide-molded tail boom. What an incredible bit of engineering that is. And as you can see, the incredible surface detail graces the rest of the exterior parts too.
If you were expecting full engine detail, you'll be disappointed. However, the kit supplies blanks for the fan up front and the exhaust in back, so you won't see through.
You're given the option of assembling the main rotors spread or folded, and the folded blades are already molded for you. That's a nice touch.
The sprue of clear parts provides all the chopper's windows. The forward and overhead cockpit windows include the frames. Academy supplies die-cut masks for all the glass. In another cool innovation, the doors are designed to sandwich the glass between exterior and interior parts for minimal to no glue necessary. The boarding doors can be positioned open or closed.
Not surprisingly, the kit comes with plenty of firepower, including GAU 16 and 17A machine guns and LAU 68 rocket launchers. And as you'd expect, Academy hasn't skimped on the little details, from antennas to ammo chutes to rotor mechanisms. A photo-etched metal fret rounds things out.
Cartograph decals and a 4-color marking and painting guide provide finishing options for 5 two-tone gray U.S. Marine Corps Venoms: HMLA 169 Iwakuni 2017, HMLA 267 MCAS Miramar 2017, HMLA 469 MCAS Miramar 2019, HMLA 469 2017, and HMLA 369 2020.
I know choppers aren't everybody's favorite, but Academy's new Venom seems to be a cut above the rest. Visit FineScale.com where you can see reviews of these kits and many more.
Where you'll also find downloadable PDFs, articles, and videos with loads of scale modeling advice.
And make sure to visit shoptrains.com for a great selection of modeling tools, gifts, and books. Well, it seems fitting that for our first tooling around back in the 5th season, that I'm going to be stripping paint. Because you guys think that I don't have anything else that I want to do except for to strip paint. we have received a sample of Dave's Magic Paint Stripper. Strip paint, chrome, clear plastic, cars, trucks, railroad, military, the whole spiel. It's right here. Anyway, the Dave in question is Dave Harchis, who is part of the Harchis car modeling dynasty. Something that I've picked up from my time talking to Dave is an interesting little bath system. Now, I went and I picked up some inexpensive food prep or food preservation. You don't need the lids. They're out of here. Goodbye. But you will need both of these. And what you want to make sure is that your model comfortably fits inside whatever reservoir that you're going to put it into, just like normal. But one of these, we're going to perforate. Oh, I put a crack in it. I'll be right back. This will fix the problem. Better. Yes, that's better. I will be honest with you while doing this. Dave offered to give me like one that was already pre-drilled, and I said, I can do this. But we've got the bath in there, and now we can go ahead and put the body in. I'm also going to go ahead and put a piece of chrome in the bath there. Get down in there. Let it do its thing. And we're going to let it rest for, I'm going to give it 10 minutes. And we'll see what it does in that amount of time. Well, I went right to the end game there, didn't I? Lacquer, car body, see what the paint stripper does. And I got thinking, you know what? We need to actually show what happens with acrylics and enamels. Now, on the bottle here, it says, hey, it works on fantasy figures. And I have a lot of fantasy figures. In fact, I've got this ugly cuss from like the year 2000. Let's see what that does. And then I have these little guys. I did these back in like 1985 with Testors enamels. So I'm just going to put those in there and see if we can actually clean them up. We'll come back in 10 minutes. 10 minutes have gone by, and let's take a look at where we're at right now with the soak. So first, we'll start with the acrylic. I'm going to take a toothbrush here and just start to... Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely starting to... That's coming off. Yeah, you can see there, it's starting to reveal the metal underneath. There was a primer coat underneath that, a black primer coat, and you can definitely see that it is. It's taking that paint right off, right down to the metal. This ugly, nasty, it's enamels. It's old Testors enamel. That might need a little bit more time in the wash. Let's take a look at this. Look at this wizard. Yeah, the enamel might need just a little bit more time in the wash. So we'll go ahead and put those back in for another 10 minutes just to take a look, and we'll leave the acrylic guy in there for another 10. But it's definitely taking the acrylic off of that. So this is after 20 minutes of soaking. This guy looks really gross. The paint is just coming off now. Okay, coming here to the enamels. These old Testors enamel. Oh, there it goes. After about 20 minutes, it is starting to remove. It's starting to remove the enamel too. It just takes a little bit more for the paint remover to start eating the enamels, which I guess isn't surprising. After scrubbing these with a toothbrush and a toothpick under running water, this is what we have at the end. The figure that I had painted with acrylics and had a primer base underneath, it's cleaned up really, really well, actually. The enamel ones, I've kind of got a mixed bag here. So the Wizard is really starting to shed its paint. Remember, both of these were old Testors enamels. It's shedding its paint pretty well. It's probably going to need some more time in the solution. The Shambling Mound, it's starting to happen. You can kind of see the silver that's coming in underneath. It just had been hammered so hard with the enamel that it's just going to take a lot longer to get through and eat away that paint. So it does work with acrylics and enamels. Let's see how well it's working with the lacquer. I'm back, not 10 minutes. I got doing a couple of other things in the workshop, so it's closer to 20, which is fine. Now, I should tell you, this is Tamiya yellow lacquer. All right, that's what I sprayed that body with. And then, of course, you saw me put the chrome part, the bumper in there. And I'm going to tell you, after this 20 minutes, I am, color me impressed. That has thoroughly de-chromed that part. Now, obviously, I'm going to want to go and rinse that, but yeah, I really like that. That chrome is gone. That's really cool. I'm very happy with how that's turned out. So that'll have to be rinsed. There's a little couple of spots in there. Now, I'm not seeing much being done here on the body yet. I'm going to take a stiff bristle brush and just see what we got going on. Yeah, so I'm not seeing too much of an effect right now. So that means that it probably needs to sit a bit longer in the bath. So it's been 24 hours. And here is the car body with the Tamiya yellow lacquer. Now, remember, it was sitting about half submerged. So you can see where it was sitting in the solution as opposed to where it was not sitting in the solution. So it was having an effect, but it's not really taking it off very fast. So I talked to Dave Hartjes about Magic Paint Stripper and its effectiveness with lacquer, and he said that it can vary. That they've found over the years that the paint stripper actually works better on lacquers that have been painted onto primers rather than directly onto a body, like what I did with this car body here. So what I would say about using it with lacquers is you can soak the plastic for as long as you want without worrying that the solution is going to affect the plastic. As I said, I really love how it took the chrome right off of this chrome piece. I can't wait to try it on a couple of other chrome pieces that I have, in particular with a certain beer wagon. And, its effectiveness with acrylics is unquestioning. I'll have to give it a little bit more time with the enamels and a little bit more experimentation with lacquers. But that is what we've discovered with Dave's Magic Paint Stripper. Kendra, welcome to the wrap-up.
Thank you.
What do we have here?
This is the Tamiya 1/35th scale Russian heavy tank.
Okay, there you go. All right. The KV-2. Did you build this?
I did build it.
Awesome. Okay. So why?
Because I had it.
Because you had it.
Because I had it.
Do you have a particular interest in tanks?
Not particularly. I just, again, I had the model and thought I'd give something a little bit more challenging a try.
Okay. Because up until now you've done like Gundam. Right? Mm-hmm. You've done some Gundam figures and some other like snap together stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is your first glue model.
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. That's great. That's very cool. Mm-hmm. So you built it. Tell me about these figures here. You've painted them.
Yes.
And how many other figures have you ever painted?
Like 4 to 6.
Okay.
Some are not finished yet, but I've only done a couple other figures before.
So like mostly like
D&D miniatures.
There you go, D&D minis. Okay. What did you use to paint these with?
Just craft acrylic, what I had on hand.
What you had on hand? Okay. So you custom mixed these colors?
Yes, the only color that I think was just straight up from the bottle was the black.
Oh, for
the skin
helmet?
tone was like pretty close to what came in the bottle. I just mixed it to make it a little bit more natural.
Okay.
And then the green was like army green was completely custom mixed. And then I think the brown on the clipboard there might also be just the straight up color from the craft acrylics.
Okay. Well, that's really, so you're not only building new, but you're custom mixing colors. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you like to do next?
I like to paint the tank. I think that would be cool to get it to match the figures.
Okay. To match. So you want to go with a realistic replica.
Yeah.
You don't want to do something outlandish. Well, we'll get in the paint booth. Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll
sounds good.
Put some paint on it. So guys, gals, chat. Stay tuned because I think we're gonna show more of where Kendra's tank is going to go, her KV-2. And you know what? We're glad to be back. It's good to be shooting video again. Had a lot of other things going on, but we have a lot of exciting things lined up for this season of FineScale Modeler Weekly. We're going to be doing a lot of shows, so there's going to be show footage. There's also some things that have started to come together that I don't want to spoil anything yet, but there's some things that are starting to come together that we're going to be able to share with you as we're going on through season 5, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it as they start popping up. So stay tuned, stay with us, and what else? What else can we say? You be you. You'll be you.
I'll be me.
Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. This is your part now.
See you next time.
Bye. Lively, lively, lively. ICM 132nd scale HS 123A1 late. The Henschel Fluidzoid work, holy flip.
Another with the, oh shoot.
You're gonna have
Another with the Fluidzoid.
You can just pick it up with another.
Wait, do we need to replace the...
Oh, we do. Good call, Kendra. I know.
This is the thing.
Smooth workbench. So nice. Just don't knock over Air Commissar.
Yes.